Okay. Screw. Alright, so I recently watched a TED Talk. Shh, quiet. Hey, quiet. Ozzy, chill. Sit. Stop breathing so heavy. I recently watched a TED Talk called SpaceX's Plan to Fly You Across the Globe in 30 Minutes by Gwynne Shotwell. And Gwynne is actually the current president of SpaceX. And if you don't know what SpaceX is, it's a very large company owned by Elon Musk. Ozzy, stop! Stop. Okay. Yeah, but it's a very large company owned by Elon Musk, and the talk sort of it centers around three parts of the presentation, I would say. And the first, Ozzy, okay, stop. You gotta chill. The first is talking about their current success in the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy rockets. And then the second part of the presentation that they move into sort of centers more around the company itself and Gwynne Shotwell in particular. And the third part of the presentation goes into their future plans for the company, I guess, and technological innovations and what they can do with it. But yeah, a very tech-savvy company. I think their official mission statement, it was mentioned in the talk, was to bring humanity to Mars or something. And in the beginning, they talk on the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy rockets, which I believe it was stated were developed from the Merlin engine or something. Something like that. And, you know, it's been in the news recently, their success with reusing their boosters, which they're uniquely successful in. You know, no other company is really, or no other government or national agency either has been able to accomplish it. See, lay down. Okay, you gotta lay down. Look, I gotta talk about this. Good boy. But, yeah. Okay, so they really just talk about their success in the side boosters returning after every launch and mission. And with the current Falcon Heavy rocket that they just developed, which they did by, they said, gluing 3 Falcon 9s together. They're using the same engine, but just adding more and more of them together to make bigger and stronger rockets with more propulsion capabilities. And then after that, they move on into the backstory of, what's her name again? Gwynne Shotwell, and how she became president, I guess, just a small synopsis. And so I guess, yeah, it doesn't go too much into details. She just says that she was interested in how things work as a kid, and she saw some speech, I guess, by a woman engineer while she was a kid, or a teenager rather, and really liked her suit or something, and that's what made her want to become an engineer. And she gives a lot of really good, I don't want to say advice, but she makes a lot of really good points whenever she's talking about the company and her responsibilities and her role in the company. And one of them was talking about selling the company. to, I guess, potential sponsors, benefactors, whatever. And she said that she did that through relationships and selling the capabilities, I guess, of her team, because they didn't have any rockets. Their first, I don't know if anyone saw, but I think the first few attempts by SpaceX were all catastrophic failures. Like the rockets blew up mid-flight or didn't even launch. And so she said that her job in selling the company to whoever basically hinged on her ability to sell the prospects of the company and what they could accomplish rather than what they have or what they did. I thought this was a good, I don't know, it was something worthy of note because I feel like it's replicable, is that how you say the word? Replicable? I don't know. In whatever you're trying to do in life, maybe you have the potential to do something, but you have no prior experience or anything to show your, I don't know, your potential. So you have to use yourself as a selling point, and they tell you that in college as well. You have to basically sell yourself whenever you're going to potential employers, I guess. And it's really a skill. You have to present yourself in the best light. Make whenever you give what do you call it? Negatives about yourself, you have to spin them in a positive light. And I think it's a very useful and very important skill to have, actually. And what else does she talk about? They talk briefly about upgrading their rockets to carry crew and people, because that's their ultimate goal, is to carry people to Mars. So they have to eventually put people on their rockets, but right now they're just, I guess, developing the rocket technology without having to, have people on board as a constraint, because, I think it is really expensive when a rocket blows up, but it would be a lot more of a catastrophe if something, went wrong and there were people on board and people died. But they talk about the success that they have recently found is, God, that's hurting, Ozzy. Was because they got to look at previous, I guess, attempts at creating rockets and spaceships and space shuttles and such, and that they got to, quote unquote, stand on the shoulders of giants. And that's something that's also very useful, is being able to look at previous people who have attempted the same thing that you want to do. You get to kind of learn from their mistakes without making them yourself. And then she also stated that a lot of their success came from the fact that they had no parameters or constraints based on some controlling entity, such as, I don't know, whoever sponsors or benefits, or whoever owns the rocket building company. So they got a lot of freedom in the designing of these rockets. And I guess she quotes that they really got to let physics decide the design of their technology and their ships. They also said that, sorry I'm saying a lot. I find, that happens a lot whenever you try and speak in front of people, or it's also, or it's not also, but it is a it's a mechanism, I guess, in language and speech that whenever you can't, your brain is working faster than your mouth or something, or you can't think of the next thing to say, it's like a filler in conversation and in language. And every country and nation and culture has it, I believe. But they have different little interjections of, I guess, random sound. It's very interesting and weird, but that's off topic. They also speak a little bit on using ultra cold densified liquid oxygen and RP. I'm not sure what RP is, rocket propellant. I don't know what they use as their rocket propellant, but they speak on that and how it allows basically for them to hold more cargo, I guess, because you densify the liquid and you can carry more in a smaller space. It takes up less room on the spacecraft. Then they talk about Elon time and how demanding of a boss, I guess, he is. He's notorious for having strict timelines and not meeting them, I guess, because of how ridiculous his timelines are. And this is another